It's Corona time. COVID-19, COVID-19, COVID-19,
COVID-19, yes.
COVID-19, COVID-19, coronavirus.
Vaccine, number one way.
Science is truth. You do not know what you are talking about.
And we had to circle back. It's all connecting.
It's all circling back.
Yep. Do you want me to do it? I thought you were doing it.
Did you hit the circle back button? Did I just miss it?
No. Well, we did it before
we gotta give Psaki
during the night.
We gotta give Psaki her jingle. Okay. We so rarely get to give Psaki her jingle.
Right, well, I gotta go back here now, and I gotta go find it.
Oh, jeez, Louise.
Here we go. Psaki, here you go.
Circle back, but I'll have to circle back.
There you go. Now, this will mostly be a read. We don't want to get in trouble for having any opinions on this show, of course. But this is coming from the New York Post. Headline: Judge orders Fauci, Psaki deposed in social media censorship lawsuit. A federal judge has ordered Dr. Anthony Fauci and former White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki to be deposed for a lawsuit that claims top officials in the Biden administration colluded with social media companies to censor debate about the COVID pandemic and the Post's expose on the Hunter Biden laptop. You know, the New York Post has they've got some skin in the game here, because they actually had their Twitter account pulled for the Hunter Biden laptop thing. Yeah. Fauci, Psaki, and other administration officials, including Surgeon General Vivek Murthy, must testify about their communications with the tech companies as part of the lawsuit brought in May by Republican attorneys General Eric Schmidt of Missouri and Jeff Landry of Louisiana. The attorneys general sought the testimony of Fauci, the chief medical advisor to President Biden, because of his high-profile position and his public comments, rejecting the theory that the virus leaked from a lab in Wuhan, China, as well as his claims about the efficacy of mask wearing.
Before we move on too far here, Surgeon General Vivek Murthy, it popped out at me because we just reported on Rishi Sunak. Yeah. His wife is named Akshata Murthy. So I don't know if there's any relation, but there could be.
My understanding is that there are there's like not a whole lot of last names compared to the U.S., where basically all of ours were made up on Ellis Island. But as I understand it, it's pretty common to
and then a side note here,
find a connection there.
And I'm just noticing this now. It's October 24th today, right? So 24, you get backwards 42. You got the 42-year-old Sunak coming in, and then the year of birth of who? The Chinese guy that was dragged away, 1942.
Oh, interesting.
Continue.
Perfection. Quote, plaintiffs urge that his comments on these important issues are relevant to the matter at hand and are further reasons why Dr. Fauci should be deposed. U.S. District Court Judge Terry Doty wrote in his 28-page order issued on Friday. Quote, plaintiffs assert that they should not be required to simply accept Dr. Fauci's self-serving blanket denials that were issued from someone other than himself at face value. The court agrees. Doty, a judge in the Western District of Louisiana, wrote, the judge added that Fauci, quote, no doubt engaged in communications with, quote, high-ranking social media officials, and so far has not had to give any statements under oath. Ooh. Schmidt, who is running to represent Missouri in the U.S. Senate, hailed Doty's decision. Quote, after finding documentation of a collusive relationship between the Biden administration and social media companies to censor free speech, we immediately filed a motion to get those officials under oath, he said in a statement. Quote, it is high time we shine a light on this censorship enterprise and force these officials to come clean to the American people. And this ruling will allow us to do just that. We'll keep pressing for the truth, he said. As for Psaki, Doty said she admitted publicly in her position as press secretary that the White House had been in touch with social media platforms. Quote, the major platforms have a responsibility related to the health and safety of all Americans to stop amplifying untrustworthy content, disinformation, and misinformation, especially related to COVID-19 vaccinations and elections, Doty wrote, quoting Psaki during a May 2021 White House press conference. The judge also ordered a deposition from Elvis Chan, who manages the cyber branch of the FBI's San Francisco field office, about his communications with Facebook founder, CEO Mark Zuckerberg about censoring stories of the Hunter Biden laptop. That one is a funny one.
New York Post.
Because Mark Zuckerberg admitted this on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
He volunteered the information.
Right.
He could have lied.
Yeah. Or
at least not said the actual words, the FBI told us to hide the story.
Right.
But, Mark Zuckerberg coming out and straight up saying the words, I'm sure Elvis Chan over there had a moment of, oh, come on, Marky, can't you keep a secret, Zucky? Why you gotta do this to us? Quote, Meta's counsel identified Chan as the FBI agents who communicated with Facebook to suppress that story, Doty wrote. The Post first wrote, that's another interesting aspect to this, which is on Joe Rogan, he just said, we have FBI agents. They come, they talk to us. No. This was actual Elvis Chan, the manager of the cyber branch of the FBI in San Francisco, came and told him to hide the story. And then it ends out here. The Post first wrote about Hunter Biden's suspicious overseas business dealings in October 2020. Reports that were suppressed by Facebook and Twitter because of warnings from the FBI that the information may have been planted by the Russians to discredit Joe Biden before the election. Yes, we do know this. Well, being deposed, it's a step. It's a step. I'll tell you what. I'm not necessarily optimistic that the truth shall come out in these depositions. We've seen Fauci dodge the flaming arrows and darts in all of his congressional hearings, of which I'm not sure if he is under oath or not there. I would suspect he is, but he may not be. So it'll be interesting to see if these guys can do any better than Rand Paul.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It sounds exciting. I guess it's in the right direction, but ultimately, what are we looking at here? What's the end game here? Other than rebuilding it, tearing it down to rebuild it, throwing certain people under the bus. It's time for a new infrastructure. It's the fourth industrial revolution. So, this is a great reset. So it's okay to throw some things on the wayside, let people trample all over it, and then everyone will be stoked about the new thing. So
that's why we need AI instead of politicians. We got to have places like the NIH not run by humans who can be self-serving. We need to put a robot in charge.
Not just self-serving. The AI politician doesn't need to rest. It doesn't need to stop studying and, the whole deal.
Can you imagine an AI that doesn't need to rest wanting to filibuster?
Yeah. And do you remember the Amazon factory story? It made it sound like the robots also slept at night because they were being recharged.
Yes.
So as if that is going to stop them from working 24/7.
A strange little piece of propaganda, wasn't it?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, anything else on the Fauci-Psaki bomb?
No, Fauci-Psaki bomb. No, we'll see. I don't have a date yet, but it'll be interesting to see what comes of it.
Yeah, I don't know. At least we'll get to see them in under oath. Maybe something will happen. Something will come up, and they'll be distracted and can't do it. Always the case. All right.
Well, like Trump was very good at getting out of depositions.
Timing stuff.
The death of his wife, a hurricane, all sorts of very good reasons for him not to be deposed.